Hey there, fellow streakers. It's Jeff, and I have got a special guest host with me today. He sat down in Jami's chair and just said, "Dad, I'm doing this with you today." So who is my guest host today?
It's Chance here today.
But do we have Mom with us today too?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're sitting in my chair, buddy. Yeah. Somebody came in and just scooted me right out.
It's
and
rather
the chair.
comfortable.
Someone
It
took
is
my
rather
chair.
comfortable, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's he kind of fits in that chair. You know, as I look at him, he's smiling, he's happy, he's looking like he enjoys it.
I'm thinking he likes this idea of a microphone.
I think he does too. What do you think, Chance?
I like the microphone, but I do like the podcast too.
Yeah, what do you like about the podcast? What do you think?
Just we get to talk to each other
And share it with the rest of the world?
Yep.
Yeah, because do you know that the podcast that we have, the Streaking Podcast, and did we say welcome, fellow streakers? I think I
Welcome,
did,
fellow
right?
streakers.
The podcast that we have actually goes out to the entire world. We have listeners in we have listeners in every major continent that's in the world today. What do you think about that?
Even in the ocean?
Even
Except the ocean's not a continent.
Yeah, the ocean's not a continent. So, but yeah, and everywhere where someone lives, we have listeners out there. So, hello, listeners of the world.
Hello.
So it's really good to have everyone. So we're talking about streaking, and one of the things that we thought would be fun is to bring Chance on and to have him talk a little bit about some of the streaks that he has going on right now.
I only have 2 right now.
You only have 2 right now?
Let's talk about that for just a second.
Yeah.
How many did you used to have?
I had 5.
Yeah, 5 or 6. We started you off strong, huh?
Yeah.
We're like, all right, let's do 5 or 6.
And, you know, it's interesting because we had a conversation about that, and you, Jami, were looking at it and saying, I want to get him started on. You kind of got ambitious on us.
I
didn't you?
did. That's why I wanted to talk about it, is because even after all of our time of talking about streaking and how important it is to make it laughably simple and start small.
Yeah.
Even when I sat down with Chance and we started his streaks, we started too many at once.
Yeah.
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 Did you feel that too, Chance?
Yeah.
How many did you have when you started with Mom? What was it?
I probably had 6 or
6 or 7? 5 or 6?
Yeah.
5 or 6, and that was just a little bit too many?
Yeah, to start all at the same time. Didn't you feel that way, Chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost a little too much.
Yep.
But now I only have 2 streaks I can keep up with.
Uh-huh.
And the first streak is do at least 10 push-ups daily. And that's 30 days.
Okay, so you've been doing that for 30 days or so.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Have you
30
had
days or less.
30 days. Have you had to start that streak over before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Few times.
a few times. How come you chose 10 push-ups? Why was that a streak that you wanted to do?
I actually don't know.
Don't know. You just started it.
Yeah.
It was just something that you decided that you wanted to do on a
Yeah.
regular basis? Did it have anything to do with karate?
Well, yeah, because we do push-ups for our warm-up.
Okay. And you wanted to you were just like, you know what? Well, I have a streak to do 10
That's
push-ups
right. You
daily.
have a streak to do 10 push-ups
Yeah.
a day.
And a plank at least for 20 seconds.
No, mine is just do a plank. That's it. It's too hard to do it for 20 seconds.
There we go, people. Laughably simple.
There it is. Yeah.
A 20-second plank
You know,
is
when I
too
told
hard.
Ace about that, he laughed out loud.
Out loud.
For several minutes, I think.
That's what I love about this, though, when we talk about streaking, is how important it is that you pick your own streak.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
you be able to decide what your laughably simple is.
So remember that time we were with Grandpa,
Mhm.
and he's like, whoever can hold the plank the longest gets a $10 bill. I'm like, I'm getting that $10 bill.
Yeah.
And turns out I actually held the plank for 11 minutes.
No
That
way, for
is
11
amazing.
minutes.
11 minutes.
And he did. We were
He
right there.
did.
We witnessed the whole thing.
Your arms were all shaking, but you kept it tight, held on to it. What you'll do for $10.
Uh-huh.
Pretty amazing. So what we were thinking about as far as what we wanted to talk with Chance about and bring him on as in relation to Have Fun with Dad Day, which is the day before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
is we want to talk just a little bit about how you have liked being a streaker. What are some of the things that you like about streaking?
The thing I like about streaking is you can keep track of your things that you really want to do.
Oh, so you're thinking about it as far as things that you absolutely want to do. You keep track of them and you're
Yeah.
consistent at them for, a long time, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't need the app to keep track of it.
Really?
You could just print out like a sheet of paper, put like something on it, and streaking. There you go. Boom.
There you go.
Do at
Boom.
least like one note on the piano daily.
Yeah, so that
Very
could be a
good.
streak, right? And you keep
Yeah.
track of it on you can tell he's pretty enthusiastic
Yes,
about this,
he
Mom.
is. He is. And we've tried it both ways, huh? We have papers that we've printed out that keep track of
Yeah.
it for you.
But
And how are you keeping track of your streaks right now? Are you doing it through the paper or are you
I'm
doing
doing
it?
it through the app.
So you are doing
Do you
it
like
through
the
the
app?
Okay.
How come you like the app? What is it about the app that you like?
Notifications.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Notification. So it reminds you?
Yeah,
or what?
it reminds you.
To do
Like-
your streak. Okay.
When I print it out on paper, I try to find a place where I can see it and I remember to do it.
Right.
So like, I want to for some reason like hang it up like on my bed so when I wake up I just see it right there.
Yeah.
So then I'll just mark it off, but I didn't do that.
You didn't do that.
I had to put it on the side of my shelf.
Yeah. And so when you were keeping track of it, it was a little bit harder on the streak sheet, but with the app, you find it's pretty easy to do?
Yeah.
Because you have the app on your iPad, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What if you forget to mark your streak? We were talking about this the other day. What do you do when you forget to mark your streak?
You tap and hold on your streak.
On the app itself, if you've
Yeah.
forgotten to mark it, you're going to, on the streak itself, you tap and hold?
No. You go into it, you tap on your streak and hold, and it'll pop up this square box or this rectangle one, and there should be something like this rectangle button
Yeah.
that says restore streak. You click on that and it'll restore your streak.
Okay.
Okay.
He's pretty, he's got the app going on,
yeah.
doesn't he?
What's your second streak, Chance?
Do at least one karate move daily.
Okay. Do at least one karate move daily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And is that one longer than your push-up streak or shorter?
Longer.
Longer. So you've been doing that one for longer.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then before, when you had 5 or 6 streaks, we were missing a lot of stuff, huh?
Yeah.
And so we were kind
Because
of
it was too hard to keep up with.
okay because we started you out too many at once.
I don't really get why it's harder to mark off. Like,
So one of the
That's a
things
good
we talked
question.
about, and that's a good question, Chance, as we look at it. What were you going to say?
Well, just that it wasn't that it was hard to do as much as it was you getting used to streaking, like remembering to do them every day. Did you feel that way, kind of, that
yeah.
we would kind of forget? And so after a couple times of starting over, and when I looked at your streaks, I'm like, I broke my own rule. And we started off with too many. One of the things that we talk about is how important it is that you start and do one streak for like 100 days before you start your second streak.
Yeah.
So
Before
that-
you start, like, your third streak.
Right,
Because you can start with 1 or 2 streaks,
right.
but I wouldn't recommend going over 3
Okay.
when you just start.
How long
When
do you
you-
think you should go before you add like a 4th or a 5th streak if you wanted to? What do you think?
So
Chance?
you have your third streak.
Yeah.
I
So
would
if you're gonna,
say-
so you have 2 streaks right now, and you've had
Yeah.
those for about 30 or 40 days, right?
Yeah. Above 30 or less then. So it's like 30,
Your streaks that you
5.
have right now, you have.
35 or lower.
Okay, so your streaks right now, you've been doing them for 35 days straight, and the other one not as quite as much. How long do you think you need to wait before you add another streak? What do you think?
Like Mom said, you could have you would probably wait until you have those 2 streaks until you have 100 days, and then you can add one more streak and you can keep on going, and once you're at 200 you could add another streak and add another
Yeah.
streak and
So let me-
add another streak.
So I'm going to ask Mom a question here for just a second.
All right.
So when you were setting it up with Chance, because this is one of the things we talk quite a bit about, is does streaking work for kids? I mean, can you put streaking in place for kids? You started out by looking at it and saying, okay, there's 5 or 6 things that he's interested in,
Right.
and then you basically went forward. And what was it? How come you broke the rule that we both know is so significant, which is, even though it's laughably simple, and I think that's why it's easy to break the rule, is because the action on which you're streaking is so laughably simple. You think, you know what, I can set up 4 or 5 of these without a problem.
Exactly.
However, it just doesn't work that way. But what were you thinking?
When I first started, I think, well, because you asked an interesting thing. You're like, he had 4 or 5 things that he was interested in. He had 2 or 3 things that he was interested, and I had 2 or 3 things that I was interested in him doing. And so
now we understand.
Yes. So I added a few. I was like, well, we need to work on multiplication. Let's add that. And well, we need to be doing reading. Let's add that. We can add his reading to it. And
like
so
school stuff.
School stuff. Yep. I added school stuff. That's what it came down to.
Lots
That's what it
and
came down
lots
to.
of school.
So when you started him out with some of the school stuff, so you were thinking, you know what, he can benefit from some of these other streaks like math, facts, reading, and what was the third one? The other one that you just mentioned, math, facts, reading.
I think that wasn't
it a musical instrument?
Oh yeah, piano.
Piano. Yeah.
I had piano on there for you too.
But what you thought was, I'm going to use streaking as a tool to help him get consistent in these areas.
Yeah. And I think what I did as I look back at it is recognize again that I'm wanting him to learn to be consistent, not me making him be consistent. And so when we went down and when I looked at that and thought, okay, we've consistently missed, we've had to restart these streaks consistently.
I love the word that you're using right now is we.
Yeah, Chance and I both missed his streaks.
Yeah. It's
3 or 4 times. So then when we sat down and I said, you know what, we should not do this many at once. We shouldn't start here. We need to start with 1
and
or
I
2.
think the pronoun is appropriate here because you really owned those streaks. He didn't own those streaks. He didn't own them. And then as soon as he decided these are my streaks.
Which you'll notice, push-ups and karate. Notice math wasn't on there yet. No. Neither was reading or piano. No. Now, I do want to get to the point that we slowly add those in because I definitely think that this is going to be a benefit to you.
Yeah.
But in order to get you started streaking to the point that you're thinking about it and not me always reminding you, you needed to start with something that you were interested in and that you were excited about doing.
Yeah.
So most of the time, do you feel like I remind you a lot to do your streaks?
Not really.
Not really? You feel like you're kind of motivated on your own to do them?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, so like sometimes when I go to bed, you're like, did you do your streaks? I'm like, no, not yet. So then I go do my streaks. And sometimes...
Yeah, we'll be all in bed. You're ready to go. Lights out. And all of a sudden, you'll pop out.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, I didn't do my streaks yet. So I pop out of bed, do my streaks quickly, mark them off, and...
hop back in bed after doing 10 push-ups and a karate move.
Yep.
To keep that streak alive.
So what were you going to say?
Just that it's interesting that for each one of us, it takes the first part of streaking is really... learning to remember to do it.
And it's cool how you, like, at first, you're like, you don't remember to do your streaks, you can't, and you're like Dad said, if you write, I'm an idiot, like, every day, that's not going to improve you.
No.
But if you write, like, I'm positive, like, positive things, like, you can do it. You can do 10 push-ups or like 1 push-up daily. It'll change you.
Right.
And you will be motivated to do 1 push-up or 10.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a part in the book that Chance is referencing to that talks about how really it shaped the whole rest of the book, which was we received an email from a college buddy that was basically challenging the whole streaking premise. And were we streaking just for streaking's sake, or was there some other purpose? And what we've talked about quite a bit and what Chance is referencing is this college buddy of mine just said, hey, if I write I'm an idiot every day, it won't make any difference. To which I thought, oh, it's going to make a huge difference. And Jami, you and I talked about this a little bit on a couple of podcasts ago where the be statement and writing who you want to be every single day in a positive way will actually build and lift you. And Chance, that's what you're referring to, huh? Mm-hmm. Is that when you write something positive about yourself every single day, it gives you the opportunity to get even better or to feel more confident about yourself. Would you say that's the case?
Yeah. And it's cool how you were running and you made up streaking.
We found it out as we're running. So I want to ask you a question about your 10 push-ups. You had an experience a couple days ago, maybe a couple weeks ago in school that was with push-ups.
Oh, this is interesting.
Do you remember that experience? It was in PE, and they had to do...
Remember you were doing the competition?
Oh, yeah?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, tell about that story.
Tell
What
about
happened?
That competition real quick.
It's called a push-up test.
Okay.
And there's a pacer test, too.
Okay.
And in the push-up test, you have to do as many push-ups as you can. And there's this robot where it says down, and we have these little like cups.
So you hear a voice and it says down, and you go down.
Yeah, and your chest has to hit those little cups.
Okay.
And then it's like up, and you have to go back up. And it's like down, up.
Okay.
And you have to do that as many push-ups as you can. And at first, I was holding the record, then somebody beat it.
Oh, someone beat it, but you held the record.
Okay,
in
so
that.
you did it though, and
For
out of everyone that you were testing with, you did how many push-ups?
22 push-ups.
22. Did anyone else
for
do
the third grade.
22 push-ups that day in that?
No,
No.
I only did 22 push-ups in that day.
That was awesome. But you said someone beat the record recently?
Yeah.
Who beat the record?
I think it was like Colton and Colton,
Okay.
or like, yeah,
So did you feel like having your streak was beneficial?
yeah.
Like
Another time when, if I keep doing my push-ups, I could improve doing my push-ups, and like next push-up test, I could get like, who knows, 99.
Yeah.
Just keep right on going. I love the confidence that Chance has.
I know.
It's kind of a cool thing. 99,
We'll just keep on
100, just
going.
keep right on going, right over the top. So if you were to talk to kids out there, or to moms or dads, what would you tell them about streaking? What would you say on streaking? What would you say to them?
Streaking is actually really fun, and it's so you can be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And it really like encourages you, like what you want to do. It encourages you to do that thing every single day. And some people might say it's becoming a habit, but it's not really. And a goal is way different than streaking.
Okay, so a goal is different than a streak, that is different. Chance has an ability to bring up several different subjects within one particular phrase.
Yep.
You just bring it all right up. So a streak is not a habit.
Yeah.
Because a habit is something that you do automatically.
Yeah, like you're not even thinking about it, and you just do it, like getting dressed. You just do it.
You just do it.
You get dressed. All right. So in other words, and when you're getting dressed, you're not thinking about, I got to put my right arm in first, then my left arm, then pull it over my head. That is a habit, right? And a goal is something like, what were you saying the other day? Because you've been reading some books. You were saying, or you were talking about what a goal is.
A goal is like, read one Wings of Fire book until and see if I finish it by December the 1st, or like.
Right. So it's trying to do it by a certain time.
Yeah.
Right.
And streaking is, there's no end to it. You just keep on going.
You keep on going. So
Forever
you finish your
and
goal.
ever.
Until you want to stop.
Yeah.
Very good.
Do you and you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is pretty cool, Chance. It's been so much fun having you on the show today.
Yeah.
I have a question. So
Okay.
we had talked about the next streak that you wanted to set. What do
Yeah.
you think that next streak is when you get to 100 days on these two that you started?
Write at least one sentence of a book daily, or write at least one word of a song daily.
All right. So this is part of what I loved about streaking, is that is not a streak I would have picked for you, to write one word of a song daily. But you have an interest in writing music?
Yeah, or writing books, or I just like writing.
And so you feel like if you could start doing that as a streak every day, that would help you get better and learn how to write a book or write some songs.
Yeah.
That's great. That's what I loved when I sat down with you. I loved that being able to hear what you wanted to do for a streak and how that was going to. So how would you feel if I encouraged you to set a streak around multiplication? Awkward silence. Do you think it would, is there a part of you that would want to do that because it would help you get better at multiplication in school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would help me get better at division too.
Right. Because if you know those math facts, it helps.
You know,
Yeah.
I think this plays into something, just if I can riff in here for just a second, that is significant across the board. And that is the streak, you have to own it. It has to be your own streak. You and I have talked a lot about this, Jami, where if you have the streak set for you, so for example, there's a lot of applications out there that set the streak for you. Whereas you setting the streak yourself, you owning it, it's yours, it's what you want to do, that is key and crucial. And we can see that witnessed right here with Chance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What he said.
Right.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right.
Let's just go yeah and right around the corner, around the horn.
Round the horn.
So that's where, so mom might give you a suggestion of doing a multiplication fact, but until you really want to do it and it's something that you want to be, say for example, proficient in math or excellent in math or whatever it is, until you want to be that, it's
going to be tough to keep a streak that I set for you, huh?
Yeah.
You've got to be willing to want it to be for yourself.
Yeah, you want to set it. Like, if somebody says, hey, you should do this for a streak, would you actually, like, want to do it? Or are you just taking other people's suggestions?
Right. And that's that's a really good point, because the whole thing that we start with, the whole purpose of streaking is to help you become the person that you want to be.
Yeah. And it's on the cover when you click into the app. It's become who you want to be.
Yep. To remind
so you recognize that, huh?
Yeah.
From the app. That's pretty cool. And you're opening the app pretty much every day, huh?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I guess
If
if
you're
keeping
marking it
streaking,
up.
if
If
you're
it's-
marking it.
if it's streaking, I gotta open the app every day.
Yep.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Chance, for guest hosting with me and Mom today. We have enjoyed having you on. For all of our fellow streakers out there, I think streaking is for kids. You just have to find that place where they are actually choosing their streak.
Yep, where they're
And-
deciding who they want to be.
And we might start doing a podcast for kids.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
there's
you
an
might.
idea.
There's an idea.
I think Chance is liking this.
I think he is. I think he likes the headphones. Well, you hear the music. It's that time. Until next time, everyone, all the kids and everyone out there, keep streaking.
And happy Thanksgiving.
You were going happy Thanksgiving. I was going to keep streaking.
It's the small and simple things that make the life we live worth living. Among the rush, do one push up, become a better you. It's the small and simple things that make you grow into what you're hoping. You're in a hurry, don't even worry. It's too simple not to do. It's the little things that make a better you. A better you.